Is 2023 really it? I mean, like, is KISS really done? Let's discuss. Welcome, KISS Army, to episode 68 of the KISS Army Things podcast. My name is Xander.
My name is Daphne.
I'm really glad you're joining me. So obviously, yeah, we're going to be talking about whether or not 2023 is really going to be it for KISS. Of course, they have two final shows coming up in December in New York. And so allegedly that's the end of the road tour. And there's going to be no more touring. So we're going to kind of talk about that, whether that's going to be really true or not. And we're going to be using a couple quotes from the guys and beyond. So yeah, stay tuned for that. And I think right now we should get to the KISS Spotlight.
Yes.
And so last time I kind of jumped the gun and I had to go first. I think, Daphne, I'm going to let you go first.
Sounds
good.
So
as far as KISS Spotlight goes, what have you been listening to? What have you been jamming to?
So this isn't my spotlight, but I am going to real quick mention Crazy Nights again, because we both did a spotlight on Crazy Nights last week. And I'll be honest, we've still been jamming to it. It's been on heavy rotation in both of our cars, and so I can't help but mention it.
Oh, both of our cars?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Okay, for sure. So what
Yes.
you're doing Spotify then?
Yeah.
Okay, for sure, because I have your CD.
You have my CD in your car.
I have her CD in my car, and we listened to it last week for the anniversary,
Yep.
and it's still been in my car. I listened to it at least 2 or 3
Yeah,
times, and then
to it
today we listened to it. So.
Yeah, it's just so good. But that is not my spotlight this week. My
Okay.
spotlight this week is actually not an album or music at all. I don't know if any of you saw, I'm sure a lot of you did, about a couple weeks ago now on the official KISS YouTube channel, they started posting, like within a few minutes of each other, all of these, these like bootleg fan documentaries, on the KISS official page. Like, I remember coming home from work and you were like, dude, right now as we speak.
For the past hour.
Yes, for the past hour, all of this stuff has been uploaded. And it was so unclear, like, why and, like, how this came about, because these were not official documentaries or anything official related to the band at all. They were just...
It was clear that they were kind of fan put together. You could tell that they were, like, fans recording at different events.
They're ones that I think you were aware of, a few of them. You had heard of them before, I think, right?
No.
No? Okay.
I had asked around on Facebook to see, and other fans had...
Gotcha.
Other fans were like, yeah, no, those are, like, bootlegs from like the 90s. Like I had that on VHS, or I saw that like 20 years ago. And no, I had actually never heard of, I don't think, any of them.
Okay.
I missed the whole, I mean, I was born in the 90s, so yeah, I missed the whole 90s VHS trading of tapes and bootleg documentaries, but okay, for sure.
Yeah, it was so interesting, and one of them that I found especially interesting that I guess is going to be my spotlight was one called KISS Crazy Killers, I think.
Yep.
And it was there was a KISS fan convention going on. I'm sure a lot of you know this story or were around for this. But where was it? Maybe Jersey or something like that?
Something like that. Some KISS Expo in the 90s.
Yeah, and a lot of, like, authentic things from the band, like costumes and stage props and things like that, were being sold there. And obviously most of the fans that were there were just innocently there to see all this cool stuff and to meet other KISS fans.
And maybe buy it.
Yeah, exactly. But what they didn't realize is that those things were stolen from the band, allegedly. And were not authorized to be there being sold. So Gene and Paul actually show up to this convention.
Yeah.
And there's like multiple angles, like multiple different fans.
That was the craziest part.
Yeah, shooting them showing up and talking to everybody. And they honestly handled it very well, because obviously their main reason for being there was to take back, like,
what was rightfully theirs.
Yeah, and they had found out, they had heard that this was happening. And they're like, that's our stuff that we've been missing that belongs in our warehouse.
Yeah.
So they come to collect all of those things, but they also know that, you know, it's not most of these people's fault, and they're just fans of the band.
And they paid to be there, so it kind of sucks for them.
Right, it sucks that you're taking away some of the main attractions of this event. So they stayed for quite a while. They interacted, they did like a Q&A.
They did a full Q&A. I think they were signing autographs.
It was so weird.
I mean, they really did keep it professional.
They did a great job.
I'll tell you right now, if I was told that things in my collection had been stolen and were being sold at a KISS Expo, I would have went in there like Jesus in the temple.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I would have had my whip, flipping tables. I mean, it would have been like, yeah, it would have been bad. So I really praised, and of course, maybe they knew that there was cameras there. And, you know, again, they didn't want to cause any, you know, because I mean,
there were look bad.
a lot of commotion there, a lot of yelling. And,
oh my gosh, it was crazy.
You know, like Gene, and just like Paul. They're just like being overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I mean, just watching it was like almost like sensory overload. So
I
can't imagine actually
that was me.
being that. So Gene and Paul, for what it was they did a pretty good job. But yeah, so most fans I feel like know this, and I've heard about this.
I didn't even know this story at all, so it was crazy to see.
But to actually see it was pretty wild.
Yeah, and then at the later in this footage, unfortunately, that they don't overlap at all, because Gene and Paul mentioned that they needed to see Peter, because I guess he was in that area as well, and they were like, oh, we need to say hi to him. He actually ends up showing up to this expo later, after Gene and Paul have already left.
Yeah.
Some of the fans are telling him, like, hey, they were here, actually, which is wild, but yeah, I don't know. It was just really cool to see.
It's very bizarre.
And what's even more bizarre is that they're gone. All of those videos are gone that were posted.
I don't know when they got taken down, but they're gone.
As of a few days ago, I think they were still there, but I hadn't checked in a minute. But yeah, all of that stuff, it's like it never happened. It's not there anymore. And I want to know why.
What the story is behind that.
Yeah, because there's got to be a reason. Like, who posted that stuff and why? And, like, if it was, like, not supposed to happen or an accident or something, you'd think it would have been taken down much sooner, because it was up for at least a week and a half. I know that without being taken down. So I don't know. I'm just very curious on the story, and let us know if you have thoughts on that. But that's my spotlight for the week, is videos you can't watch anymore. I'm sorry.
Well, again, most of the party already have it on VHS, so if you have it, you have it. But no, that's a really good spotlight, because that was one of the things that we never even got to on this show.
Yeah, we didn't talk about it last week.
There's just so much going on. I mean, we could do like a bunch of episodes on a bunch of different topics, and so I kind of like gotta keep from getting overwhelmed. But no, that was a really good topic that we could have talked about, was all those different things, like 4 or 5 different bootleg fan documentaries. But great spotlight. Mine is actually a little bit newer. You went back to the 90s, here's some fan bootlegs. I'm going with an official album release, and that is Sonic Boom.
Nice.
So of course Sonic Boom celebrated its anniversary, release anniversary, on October 6th. Mm-hmm. And as always, every year, I love pulling this album out and listening to it on October 6th. I can still think back to when we got the album, jamming to it with Dad and Jeb in the truck. And I just love the album. I still love it today. And so I wanted to obviously bring it out. I'm listening to the record right now. We listened to it before filming. But actually, I brought it to my car, the CD, and played it in my car for a while. And it's funny because I forget how long ago, but I bought a sealed version of Sonic Boom. Mm-hmm. And then when I listened to it, I just listened to your album.
Yeah.
It's like Crazy Nights. But this time I said, you know what, no, I'm going to open this Sonic Boom.
Okay.
It's brand new. It's been sealed since 2009, whatever. And so opened it up, brought it in the car, jammed it, loved it. I even listened to a little bit of Kiss Classics.
Oh, that's cool.
So I could spotlight Kiss Classics if I wanted to as well. I didn't get to finish it, though. So it's more of like a sub-spotlight.
Right.
But because it came with the package, I did listen to it. So if you want to stick that
absolutely
right over there so that we can look at that beautiful album cover for the entire episode. But just to give it some more color for the episode. And we have like a nice little red to kind of match
compliment
it. But anyway, so forget about our Kiss Spotlight. Let's talk about Australia's Kiss Spotlight for a second. Because as we all know, Kiss has been in Australia, and they did the AFL pre-game entertainment show. They just did their show in Sydney, the Final Curtain. And so I noticed on Facebook, people were sharing some of the Australian charts, the music charts in Australia. And apparently on the top 40 Australian rock songs chart, you had number 1 was I Was Made for Loving You, and number 2 was Rock and Roll All Night. So somehow both of those songs got to number 1, number 2.
Wow.
On top 40 Australian rock albums, you have The Very Best of Kiss at number 1, and then Greatest Kiss at number 5. So 2 greatest hits compilations. Yeah. That to me was like mind-blowing.
That's insane.
When I heard that Kiss had made it back, not just made it back onto the top 40 charts, but were topping the top 40 charts. That's not just for rock songs, but rock albums. With 2 songs and 2 greatest hits albums.
That's amazing.
Like, they're not new releases either. It was just because of their appearance on AFL.
Well, it's funny because we actually got a comment on our video last week, our podcast last week, where we were talking about, do you want to look at them?
Yeah.
Where we were talking about the AFL performance. We got a lot of great comments on that episode, actually.
You always get great comments. Thank you, guys.
That one was awesome.
You guys have such great comments.
But we got one from a Kiss fan that's in Australia that was kind of giving us their point of view of all of this. But yeah, we got this comment from Pikmin4. They were saying that they're from Melbourne, and it's kind of like hysteria all over again, which is very, very cool, and that it's been such a good experience. They actually said they were at the the Sunrise thing, which was that show that Gene and Paul were on.
Yeah.
That we talked about a little bit last week as well.
So they were there.
Yes, they were there. They got to like see them close up. They even said that Gene was like throwing out some of the chocolates from his gift basket that he was given, and so like that's really fun. Let's see.
Man.
But yeah, and they also mentioned how a lot of these songs are back on the iTunes charts and everything. They mentioned they went to school and that everybody at school, so this must be a younger person, was talking about how great they were in the grand final.
That's
AFL.
awesome.
Like that's so
awesome.
neat that like in 2023
a whole new generation of kids in Australia just got to know about Kiss. And even the kids that were involved with the whole performance themselves that were all dressed in makeup. But no, I read that and thought, wait, Australia's Kiss Spotlight? I was like, oh, here we go. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, that just made me so happy and proud as a Kiss fan to see Kiss back in the charts. And then that comment, them saying Kissteria all over again was just, it just made my heart so happy. So for anybody in Australia, hope you're having a great time, especially since yesterday for us was the performance, or actually just now technically, was the performance in Sydney, the final curtain. And so that was what I wanted to get to just real quickly as we're getting into our main topic, which is, is Kiss really going to call it quits in 2023? I don't know, but for right now, they're definitely going to call it quits in Australia. This last show, the final curtain, just happened last night / today on October 7th. And so we had mentioned on the last episode kind of what they could do or should do or would do for this last curtain, as far as like the stage and the set list. And so while we didn't get a brand new show, we still got a few little nuggets of things to talk about. And so the very first thing that I noticed personally was no pods, no octagonal pods that they usually use. They have these little triangles with light fixtures on the inside that they brought with them in Dayton.
Right.
But in Dayton, it was only 3.
Yeah. Now there's a bunch, kind of
11.
like the pods.
The same number as pods, but they were triangles. And so, do you like the pods better, the triangles better? I mean, this obviously visually is fresh, but I mean...
overall, it's hard to tell. I'd say maybe still the pods, but I like just seeing something new, and I think they're really cool looking, so it made me happy to see something different.
For sure.
I think maybe overall I might like the octagon ones a little bit better, but we've seen them for so long at this point that I was kind of ready for something new. So yeah, I like the triangles. I think they're cool. I think it's cool that they added a whole bunch more of them. I know we still got the blow up like statues are still there.
Yep.
Cats, we have the Cats by
Panthers are still there,
yeah,
for
Eric's
sure.
drum kit, so that was cool.
Eric's drum kit's brand new. It looked like
yes, that was
it
new.
Looked like it was like golden. It had like a gold finish to it.
Yeah,
which kind of mimics the whole 50th anniversary golden theme they're going with. So that was really cool.
And this isn't, I don't think new, just new-ish. But Paul had that sparkly gold guitar.
Yeah, he's been rocking that for a few shows. Love that.
I'm loving the gold. I want to see more of that. That's
gold
really
theme
cool.
is awesome. I love it. And as far as I wanted to mention the triangles. Go back to the triangles first because I asked you, what you thought about the triangles, what you prefer. And I'm with you. The triangles are fresh. I like that. But for some reason, I'm still on the octagonal pods just because they're also screens.
Right, that's what I was going to say.
So, like, during God of Thunder, for instance,
you can't beat that.
The pods, like, angle down, angle up, and they all show Gene's face.
Right. And,
of course, there's Gene in the middle, and he's, got blood everywhere on all screens.
Cool.
So, that, to me, is a cool added element. So, there wasn't really any of that with this show, but they still descended on the triangles.
Yes, the beginning was cool.
Triangle pods.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. So I always viewed that as like their B stage because we saw it in Dayton when they were kind of doing other bigger festival shows and maybe weren't bringing their A stage, but they made this B stage into their A stage is what it seemed like to me. So that was really cool. And then as far as the set list goes, there wasn't any like dramatic changes. But luckily, Making Love was still played.
Yes,
that was great. We actually got to catch a couple songs. I wanted to watch at least a little bit. I almost wanted to watch the whole show or find as much from the whole show as I could before doing this episode. But I was like, we got to film an episode first.
We got to hurry.
And then I'm going to go watch as much Kiss as I can. But I know that Making Love was still in the set list, which is great because I'm just fingers crossed that it stays in. I like it in the set list. It's a great addition. It's fresh. Classic 70s Kiss, rock and roll over. It's one I've never seen live and I have to see it.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that it's still in because I know it's shuffled in and out a little bit. But not only was that in, but Shandy was in.
Of course it was.
And we were kind of thinking, it's almost a must at this point that Shandy is in the set list. And it was there. It was during the encore.
Oh, was it? Okay.
So it was actually part of the... Yeah, I should have mentioned that. It was part of the encore. So there was 4, I think, songs in the encore. 4 encore songs? So there would have been Beth, and then Shandy, probably Do You Love Me, and then Rock and Roll Night. I can't remember if it was Do You Love Me. I don't think it was Crazy Nights. I would know that.
Yeah.
But either way, that was really cool to see. So... Saw some comments online. Sounds like it was a great show.
Yeah, and Shandy, before we move on, Shandy was with the full band. I think something you mentioned was that when they did it in Australia, was it last year?
Last year's final show.
Yeah.
Or earlier this year. I don't know, something like that. I think it was last year.
Yeah, last time they did it, it was more of just a Paul moment only, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole band was in on it this time, and it was really cool. I really enjoyed it. We were watching, and we're pretty convinced that Paul was singing live that whole time.
It looked like it.
If he wasn't, it was very convincing. But it was just really cool. It was just a really cool moment, and you could hear the audience singing.
Oh, they were singing all of them. That was so cool.
Yeah, it was very cool. Very cool to see.
The crowd sounded like they were really into it because even during, I think we watched a clip of Detroit Rock City, and during the solo, they were,
I love that. I wish we all did that.
I know we always sing it, but it's hard to get the whole crowd to do it, or at least enough to actually hear it.
Right.
So to actually be able to hear the Australian crowd over Kiss or along with Kiss singing, I was like, yeah, that's a crowd right there.
Yeah.
I still don't know the official total or the attendance. So if anybody out there was there and has a tally on how many people were there, or maybe you just know, let me know. I'd like to know, because I think it holds like 80,000, but they had a few sections blocked off. I don't even know how far back it went. There was certainly a lot of people there, but I don't know the number on that. So that would be cool to know. And we failed to mention this in the past episode. We were so excited about Kiss that we failed to mention Weezer.
Oh, yeah.
Weezer opened, and so we talked about how there's been not as much opening acts musically on this tour, and some folks were actually reminding me of Skindred and then the Wild Things or some other band that opened in Europe, UK.
Okay.
So there has been, and then Skid Row I think opened for them.
I remember that.
Yeah, that was really cool. So as far as of course David Lee Roth, but as far as musical acts, opening acts on this tour, there hasn't been a tremendous amount.
No.
And so to see Weezer on the bill with Kiss, I think there was a few other ones too, a few smaller opening bands. So it was like a hot night for rock and roll, if you will. I think it started at 5, and then Kiss went on at 9.
Wow.
So that's 4+ hours of just, music. And so Weezer was the band that went on right before Kiss. And from what I could tell, that was a dream come true for them.
Yeah.
They were very vocal about being appreciative of Kiss having them on. And I believe they themselves are even Kiss fans.
Yes.
Because of that one song.
Right.
Now, I don't know if anybody else has heard about this, but they have a song. What was it called? In the Garage?
In the Garage or something like that?
Something like that. In the Garage, where in the second verse they mention having all their favorite Kiss posters.
My favorite band, Kiss.
Yeah, posters. My favorite rock band, Kiss. I have Ace Frehley and Peter Criss too. I never knew that song existed.
Me neither,
I never knew that lyric existed. And I don't know how, because obviously as Kiss fans you kind of just... You're in the know on Kiss references.
Yeah.
But that one I had no idea.
Yeah, that slipped past us.
And it almost reminds me of, what's that song? Surrender by Cheap Trick. Surrender.
Yeah.
Because there's a lyric where it says, I've got my Kiss records out.
Yes.
Mommy's all right.
Right.
Daddy. So I was like, that to me was always really cool, where a band gives homage to another band.
Yeah, definitely.
And so you have Cheap Trick and Weezer both giving direct Kiss references, and so I feel like the Weezer one just went over my head, and I never heard that song and never caught that reference, but I thought that was so cool, because not only did they do that song in the Garage, they changed the lyrics.
Yes, they did. They did. They took out the lyric about Peter and Ace and changed it to Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons.
Yeah, which I mean, I guess is
I get it.
It's appropriate because Ace and Peter are not in the band anymore. Yeah. But you can still have Ace and Peter posters, and they still have the ones from 70s. But yeah, they did change the lyrics to make it Gene and Paul. But right after that, they did a cover of Strutter.
Yes, it was cool. They were good.
Yeah, it was. It was really cool because they didn't do hardly any build up.
Yeah.
As soon as they ended that song in the Garage with the Kiss reference, it ends and they say, okay, now we're gonna play the song that I first learned how to play.
Yeah.
It's called Strutter, and just right into the intro, and I was like, that was really cool.
And they killed it. I really enjoyed that whole performance of Strutter.
Yeah, and I'm not really like that big of a Weezer fan.
Me
Not
neither.
because like I don't like them. It's just I haven't been like immersed in their music, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something, but they did sound really good, and
Yeah.
they did play well, and it looked like the crowd was kind of into it. I mean, I wish they would have been a little bit more into it, but I think they were ready for Kiss.
I think
it
so
seemed
too.
like they were wanting
Most crowds
Kiss.
these days don't really give the time of day to openers, so I understand. But
Yeah.
also, like, they're playing a Kiss song too, so you'd think you'd get a little more excited.
I'm not aware of Weezer's popularity in Australia, so I don't know if that has any effect. Where maybe they're just like, oh, this is some American band, or maybe they're from Australia. I don't know where they're
I
from.
don't think.
I don't know. You want to do some?
I would like to fathom real quick.
Let's go ahead and look it up real quick. We got all the time in the world. The internet is in the palm of our hands. We have information at our fingertips.
Yes.
Let's use it. But I don't know where Weezer's at, where they're popular.
Oh, yeah, I should have known this. They're definitely American. They're from LA, which I feel like I knew because
Okay, for
of
sure.
the song Beverly Hills, which I guess they don't have to be from there to have that song.
That's a
one of
good
the
song.
two Weezer songs I know. I know Beverly Hills and I know Island in the Sun. That's it.
And In the Garage now.
Oh, yes, that's true. I know 3 now.
But no, Beverly Hills is fantastic.
That is a good song.
That's a good. That was like a radio hit from like '06 or something like that.
Yeah.
'04 earlier, something like that. But anyway, so that was really cool, and I love that we have some Aussie people watching our show and commenting.
Yes.
That was really cool. We had like 2 or 3 folks that were from Australia commenting, and it was like, hey, I wish you were here because this is amazing right now.
Yeah.
Hysteria, and I was like, dude, I wish I was there right now.
Yeah, and give us an update if you guys are watching. Those people who commented last time.
they were
give
going
us,
to the show.
Yes, give us an update on how the show was and what all your thoughts were, what the vibes were. I think that's so
absolutely.
cool that you guys got that opportunity.
How many were there? Where were you at? In the
Yeah.
front, in the back? Does it matter? No, because every seat's a good seat in the house when you're
Facts.
seeing Kiss. But anyway, that is our little section on talking about Australia, because this, of course, is the last time Kiss is going to be going to Australia. So
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure we talked about that. And as I mentioned in the last episode, we're going to be following the KISSWorld Map.
Yes.
And now that the Sydney show has been performed, we will cross that off and move on to Dubai. The next Kiss concert will be in Dubai, October 13th, with hopefully a proper crowd. Since the last time they were there was no crowd.
So true. Last time was for Kiss 2020 Goodbye.
That was the
wasn't it?
first time they were ever there, and the only time they were there at the time.
Wow. Well, I'm glad they're getting an actual proper show where fans get to attend. That's going to be really cool.
Perhaps I should look this up. I don't know where it's going to be at. I don't know if it's the Palm, whatever that place was. I don't know if it's going to be there or not. I doubt it.
Probably not.
But I'd like to see how this show is going to go.
Yeah.
Because I want to see the stage. I want to see the venue.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how big's the crowd going to be? Is there going to be a bunch of like people in Dubai wearing Kiss shirts? Like, I mean, I want to know the vibe. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And most importantly, will the lyrics be censored still? I'm
Ooh,
sure they
they're
will.
They're probably going to have to.
If they're going to bend to those rules. But I think God of Thunder was changed to rob you of your sacred soul.
Yeah, instead of Virgin Soul.
To the virgin soul. And I don't know if there was any other lyrical changes other than that.
I
But
want to say there's another one, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. But
I think there was too.
I think, unfortunately, there are certain censorship laws that they
Yeah.
are
It's different
supposed
over there.
to adhere to.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's, you know, it'd be funny to hear Sacred Soul make its return to the to the set list. But yeah, that'll be cool. So I'm sure we'll have some more updates on that, because that will have happened. Will that have happened?
I was going to say, when is that show?
That is the 13th. So that will have happened by our
Yes.
next show.
Okay, cool.
So we'll have probably something to say about it. But what we wanted to talk about today was whether or not this is going to be the final shows or not.
Yes.
I know that this may be like the 3rd episode that we've done in some capacity that revolves around this topic.
Yeah.
Each one's been a little bit different, though, so this one's going to be a little bit different, too. But obviously, it's on the fans' minds, like, okay, how serious is Kiss about, you know, being done touring and, you know, performing shows? And so I think there's a lot of folks that aren't really convinced.
Yeah.
And there are folks that think that there's going to be a 50th anniversary tour announced in 2024, and that Kiss is going to tour for the 50th anniversary of the first album, and they're going to do something completely different and all that. And so I'm even kind of wondering too, but I was like, you know what, why don't we just get it straight from the guys themselves?
Yeah.
And straight from some sources here. And so I wanted to pull up this quote really quick. So this comes from Blabbermouth. Ugh, I hate saying that, but anyway, Blabbermouth. It says, asked whether the last concert of Kiss's End of the Road tour will truly mark the band's final performance, or if there's a chance of one-off shows or a Las Vegas residency, Stanley said, I really can't say, but it's the last of any kind of regular shows or touring.
Yeah.
He says, so will we do more shows or one-offs? I really have no idea. But this is a real clear mindset that those touring days and doing those kind of shows, that's over.
Yeah.
So I found Paul's comment rather interesting.
Yeah.
And less direct than what we might hear from, somebody else. But Paul was saying, the big tours and all that is done.
And that's how I see it. And I kind of like that he kept it vague because he's drawing a clear line, but also leaving the door open at the same time.
It's like Undertaker.
Yeah.
Never say never.
Right. Like, I personally, I do believe this is the end of touring, for sure. I don't think they're going to do a 50th anniversary tour. I really don't. I think this is it for any kind of world or even just U.S. tours. I think it's over. But I definitely see them potentially doing one-off shows here and there. Maybe a residency, maybe some acoustic, like unmasked acoustic kind of things. Yeah. I see that happening. But I don't think they're lying when they say it's the end of touring days.
That for sure, I definitely agree on.
Yeah.
They're definitely never going to be like, okay, we have 50 dates.
Yeah.
We're going to be getting in our jets and, touring the world and bringing our equipment and, staying in hotels. Those days I think are over.
Agreed.
After December 1st and December 2nd. But I guess what I'm wondering is, will Gene and Paul ever step back in the makeup on stage?
That's a good question.
Because I could see them doing, and I mean, some fans might not like this, but I can still see them doing that. Remember when Gene Simmons did the Tab Touch commercials?
Yes.
I think that was also in Australia.
Yeah.
Those were hilarious. But they had nothing to do with Kiss directly, right? It was just Gene, a celebrity,
as the demon,
promoting a product. Yeah. We see that all the time. But he was in makeup,
yeah.
and he did, breathe fire. He had the axe bass and was flying and was doing Kiss stuff in Kiss makeup. And I even think he played a portion of a Kiss song or a Kiss riff or whatever. So, fans may not like that because it's kind of like Gene, not taking advantage of the brand, but he's like, milking it for money and using it for endorsement as opposed to just band stuff. But I still could see them doing something like that.
Me too.
Like Paul Stanley in the Workday commercial.
Yep.
That was hilarious.
Yeah.
Paul in that commercial. So, I could see them maybe doing some sort of like product like that.
Yeah.
Where you see them in the makeup making an appearance. But who knows whether they'll actually step back on stage in the makeup. That's kind of what I'm wondering because, I mean, they could do. I mean, Paul kind of left it open, like, will we do one-offs or things like that, maybe. But I'm just trying to think, like, what capacity would that be?
Yeah.
I mean, it probably might be just the AFL.
Yeah.
Where they're on television, it's a few songs,
right?
Maybe a medley. They have some kind of special production and choreography, and then it's like a fun televised thing, and then it's over.
Right.
I don't know. I'm kind of wondering what the Kiss Army thinks too. So that's kind of why we titled the episode the way we did. Is this really done? Because all fans have all different opinions. And so I kind of want to know what you guys think. And also, what would you want to see, if anything? Because you hit something a second ago where you were talking about unmasked acoustic shows. Mm-hmm. The only way I could see Kiss doing some kind of tour is that right there.
Yeah.
Is doing exactly what they did 30 years ago.
Yeah.
On the convention. Not quite 30 years, but we're getting up on 30 years since the convention tour.
Yeah.
Where they literally just, as themselves, got up with acoustic instruments and just took requests, played half songs that they'd never played before in like 20, 30 years, and whether it sucks or not, who cares? It's about the the intimate and the informal aspect.
Yes.
I think the formal aspect is what's going away.
Right.
We see Kiss on tour. They have this, very specific set list, and they do specific things during certain times of the show, like the flying, and it's all like pinpoint accuracy because it is a show, it's a production. So I would like to see maybe that kind of get stripped back and go away, and have Kiss go back to a more informal, just fan to band interactions where you have a chance to kind of like what we did with the sound check. Mm-hmm. Remember that?
That was awesome.
When they were on stage, no makeup, no costumes, just their instruments. And they played a few songs that they don't really get to play, and they threw some picks out and answered some questions and stuff like that.
Yeah, interacted with the audience. Yep.
That I think would be like the next step for Kiss, because those are going to be the shows where you're going to have fans like us and us people watching, where it's like the folks who are really in it. Some of these bigger shows, they do get a little watered down because not everybody is of the same, I'll say, caliber when it comes. I'm not trying to say like there's like tiers to being a Kiss fan, but obviously certain Kiss fans.
There's also intensity levels of being a fan. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with being a casual fan.
No, exactly. But not all Kiss fans are going to watch this podcast. Right. And not all Kiss fans are going to watch it all the way through.
Yeah.
Not all Kiss fans know every single Kiss song or like even every single Kiss album. That's okay. But the shows, sometimes get watered down because you have all crowds, all ages, all peoples. But when you have shows like the cruises, for example, and even sound checks, those audiences get narrower and narrower.
Yeah, and those are the diehards.
And those are the diehards,
Yeah.
the ones that are there to hear those certain songs. Kiss would never play, all the way, or even certain classics now, like Watching You doesn't get played at all anymore. It sucks. Like King of the Nighttime World was played maybe on the 4th anniversary tour 10 years ago for a couple of shows, and that was it. So certain songs don't get played that much anymore.
Yeah.
And it would be cool to have a chance to hear those songs again, if Kiss does something like that. So I would like to see them, stop the touring like they are now and go back to doing more fan-to-band informal stuff.
Yeah, I agree. I think if you were to ask me what I would want them to do going forward, it would be that. I mean, a residency would be cool and everything, but, we've got stuff like that before. And I don't personally, even though it is sad and it is the end of a very long era, I don't need to see them in the makeup again, necessarily.
Yeah.
But I would love to see the smaller, more intimate shows directly to the fans, because if you're doing shows like that, they are playing directly to the fans, not directly to the masses. You know what I mean? So they can do more specific, more deep cuts, more things like that. That's what I would prefer, honestly. I don't know if that's what's going to happen, but I can see them doing that.
Especially considering that the Kiss Expos that we're used to going to haven't been around in a couple years.
I know, I miss
Now,
them.
of course, I would blame COVID for that.
Yeah.
But as far as like the return, like if they wanted to, or if Keith or Steve or whoever does those Kiss Expos wanted to, they could do another expo.
Yeah.
But they haven't for some reason.
Well, I'm wondering if, because I mean, even though Keith and all these other people were involved, they were still kind of unofficial expos.
Yeah, they were still fan expos.
Yeah, still fan based or fan
run.
Yes. But I'm wondering if maybe one of the reasons that Keith and everyone has not chosen to bring them back, even in a world where COVID's not as big of an issue, is maybe they are planning to do an official one again.
They're trying to not get us burnt out on expos, make us hungry for that again.
Yeah, and if that's what's happening, I'm here for it. Because I miss those expos so much.
I do too.
We went every year. It was so much fun. We always look forward to it. And it's been since 2019.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot believe that. It's almost 2024.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's been 5 years.
That is crazy to me that it's almost, or 4.
It'll be 5 years next year.
That's crazy.
So it's been 4.5 years, basically.
Yeah, that's just wild to me that it's been that long. But if they are planning, because I don't see them just being done with everything altogether. I don't see that. I think they're going to do
weird.
something.
Yeah.
So that would be really cool if they're planning to bring back an official expo of some kind, and it maybe be a traveling kind of thing.
They should totally. They did
That'd be so
the
awesome.
Tokyo Expo. See, that was an official Kiss Expo.
Yes. Yeah,
that was
cool.
I think, as far as I know, the last official Kiss Expo was that Tokyo 2016 event, which was super dope. I mean, the stuff they had there on display was insane. They had Mark Cicchini flying stuff in.
Yeah.
From overnighting stuff.
Yeah.
So that's how you know it's crazy.
But even that was almost 8 years ago.
And that's been a while. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know if that was a test for the modern market, but Kiss has to know that if they were to come to Indianapolis, Chicago, Jersey, Atlanta, places where there have been Kiss Expos.
Yeah.
Midwest. You know what I mean?
New York or Jersey.
New York, and that would be insane. Those would do so well.
Yeah.
And you could still, and they would, definitely charge money for ticket. I mean, you're getting all 4 members of Kiss, and you're going to get an acoustic set and autographs, and those aren't going to be the same prices it was 30 years ago.
Right, and it's not going to be the same prices as a fan expo where we maybe just have Bruce Kulick or Eric Singer.
It'll be another, it won't be cruise money, because we're not on a cruise, but it'll be
maybe
money.
Maybe concert ticket money, depending on what kind of level
I could see it being $500.
Yeah.
And if you're going to meet them, it could be $1,000
Yeah.
just for right there. If they're going to do meet and greets and pictures and all that out of makeup like they would on a normal tour. But they could, though. That's money in their pocket. That's money in their pocket, and that's happiness in my soul.
Yeah.
So it's a win-win for everybody. You know what I mean?
And it's just a way for them to, just be reminded of all the diehard fans.
bask
You know
in
what
it.
I mean? Because at a Kiss show, there are a lot of diehard fans, but there is also a lot of just general rock fans, casual Kiss fans who only know the hits, things like that, which is great. I'm glad we have such a wide range of people at those shows. But because of that, not everybody is singing along to every song. Not everybody is, like, having a great time, like maybe our little group is. So I think it'd be really cool for them, especially at this stage of their career, to get to interact one-on-one with the people who are diehard for them and have been listening to them and collecting Kiss stuff their whole lives and stuff like that. I think that would be a great experience for the band, too.
Yeah, and it'd be, like, full circle, because my dad went to the Kiss Expo, or the Kiss convention.
Yeah.
So that'd be really full circle. But, so that was a Paul quote. I also have another quote here from, well, an indirect quote from Gene Simmons.
Okay.
Through our good buddy, Alice Cooper.
Okay.
So this is on rockcelebrities.net. I'm sure the article was posted in many different places. Things get copied and pasted on the internet. But anyway, so Alice Cooper gave an interview where he was talking about whether or not he would retire or a farewell tour in his eyes for Alice Cooper. And his quote was, "A farewell tour has not crossed my mind at all. And it's weird because all my friends are retiring. Gene Simmons of Kiss said to me recently, 'Look, I'm done. Come December, it's over.'" And I go, again, Alice talking. Alice goes, "Well, you know, these farewell tours go on for years and years now, right?" But Gene was very serious and said, "Not this time. I promise you that come December, Kiss as we know is absolutely done."
Wow, that's dramatic.
So that was a quote from Alice Cooper.
Right.
That he...
Like relaying what Gene had said to him.
Relaying what Gene had said to him, which was pretty serious.
Yeah.
And the way Alice said that, I could see Gene saying that. No, not this time.
Yeah.
Come December, Kiss as we know it is done.
Yeah, like, take us seriously.
Now, the only way I think that would change is if Paul were to overwrite and say, "Well, we're going to do a one-off here, or we're going to make an appearance here."
Yeah.
That's the only way that would ever change.
Right.
But Gene, according to Alice Cooper, I mean, Alice Cooper, why would he lie? You know,
what reason would he have?
Sounds like, Gene's pretty serious.
Yeah.
About, whether or not he wants to. Like, I'm sure Gene would, it's going to be emotional for him to leave the makeup behind and all that. So I'm sure if he wanted to, he would do it forever. But I think he realized that he has to kind of
and I'm sure
let go of that and close that book.
He's tired. I'm sure they're all
They've
tired.
They've got to be tired.
I mean, they've been doing this for years, and
I get tired watching them. It's like,
they're not young anymore. Like, if I were them at that age, as fun as that is, I would want to chill with my family. I would want to sleep. Yeah. I would want to stay.
Paul has kids at home.
Yeah, like younger kids still.
Yeah.
I would want to be in my kids' lives, and I would want to just stay in the same place for long periods of time. Be able to focus on other art forms that we know. They all
as
do.
As opposed to traveling 24/7 and all that. Yeah, focus on the art. Like Paul's art.
Yeah.
He gets so much money from his art.
Yep.
And I know he has so much fun painting.
And like cooking. He loves cooking, like fancy meals.
That right there. Those two things have to be way more creatively involved than Kiss at this point.
At this point,
because Kiss at this point isn't challenging him creatively.
He's not writing anything new.
And even if he was, it probably wouldn't give him the same benefit because not everybody, it's not Love Gun. The fans don't want to hear new material. They want the same old stuff. So Paul gets his rocks off on something else, like painting and... Yeah, I want him to... Even Gene came out and admitted that he's been painting and had a little art gallery and, didn't want to say anything about it. But
that's very cool.
So it's like they're finding other hobbies to do. Yeah. And that's really cool. Of course, we all know Tommy and his golf and Eric and his watches.
Am I making this up, or does Tommy have, like, a winery or something?
Tommy's Vineyard, yes.
I thought so.
Tommy has his own wine. I think Paul
vineyard,
might, too.
Okay, that's really cool.
Yeah, so Tommy has his... Yeah, you're right. His own vineyard, his own
they have
everything.
other things that I feel like they deserve to be able to relax and focus on those things.
Yeah, for real.
So I believe them when they say they're done in December, at least with touring as we know it.
And if Kiss makes an appearance, it's going to be for a reason.
Right.
And it's going to be big, and it's going to be special. It's not going to be just a run-of-the-mill thing. Right. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But I don't think we're going to get any 50th anniversary tour. I don't think we're going to get another album or a big tour or, whatever. It's like, I think that's done. And even, I don't have any exact quotes, but I think we watched an interview that Doc McGee did with Mike Brunn on the Mike Brunn Experience, where Mike was asking about the possibility of Kiss going on, and Doc said something like, "Nope, not with me, at least." He said, if they plan on going, it won't be with me.
He's like, I don't know about it,
because
I'm done.
Yeah, because he said, I'm done December 2nd.
Yeah.
So if Kiss is going to go on, they'll have a new manager.
Right.
Because they haven't told me about it. We've discussed nothing. He said, I'm done. Like, we got to be done. We said we're done. We're done.
Yeah.
This isn't games. It's time.
Right.
And we know that. So it seems to me that they're pretty much serious. I think Paul was just kind of playing the media / leaving it open just in case.
Yeah.
But he made it very clear that as far as big touring like that is done.
It's over.
So maybe some small touring unmasked Kiss convention. Who knows? I would like that. Anyway, let's get to some less speculating and to some more reality. And this will be the last thing we mention in this episode today, and that is regarding Evan's band, Amber Wild.
Oh, yes.
So we've been talking about how it's possible that Evan's band is going to open for Kiss. Paul mentioned it on Twitter and said, or Instagram or something like that, mentioning, hey, here's the opening band for Kiss on the end of the road tour, my son's band, Amber Wild. And so we were kind of like, whoa, okay, well, how many shows? When? And it sounds like we might have a clue on what might be happening here. So I saw Amber Wild, Evan's band, post talking about how they opened for Wolfmother at the Hollywood Bowl.
Yes.
And this was on the 28th of September, okay? Which was really cool, first of all, that they opened for Wolfmother. I'm pretty sure Wolfmother opened for Kiss.
They did.
On the Australian tours last year.
Yes, that sounds really familiar.
What a small world right there, right? But no, so Evan's band opened for them on September 28th at the Hollywood Bowl and posted saying, we'll see you November 3rd at the Hollywood Bowl.
Yep.
And that sounded way too familiar to me because they were like, okay, guys, thank you for the show. We'll see you again back here on the 3rd of November. And I was like, okay, so they're just sending off and, wishing well a general post on Instagram. And I thought, wait a minute, why does Hollywood Bowl November 3rd sound way too familiar? Kiss is playing. That's the day Kiss is playing. So it is confirmed, all but confirmed, that Amber Wild will be opening for
Paul
Kiss.
has said it, Evan has said it.
Yeah, so
I think it's happening.
I don't know any word on Kiss Online, but I don't think there's going to be. I mean, it's pretty much all but clear to me that it's going to be happening at the Hollywood Bowl on the 3rd of November because Kiss is playing. Evan confirmed it. And not only that, but we actually have some music from them coming out finally.
It's next week, right? Maybe?
It is the 19th of October, so in a week or two. Okay. But did you see that where they teased new music? Good.
Yeah.
Because we talked about that.
Yeah, we talked about how they better have some music out by the time these shows come around because, I mean, what are you going to do? Either play covers or play a brand new song that literally nobody's ever had the chance to hear?
Because nobody will know unless they've seen you before, which the chances are low.
Yeah, well, and odds are still low that most Kiss fans are going to listen to the new music, but some people
They're
will.
still higher. They're higher than they were before, though. It's still higher than there being nothing
and
there.
I mean, we definitely will. I'm
Absolutely.
excited to check it out. So I'm glad that they were on the same wavelength as us. Is we better put something out quick before we have a show this big. And I'm curious. Obviously, the only thing we really have confirmation on is the Hollywood Bowl specifically.
Right.
But I'm curious if that's going to be it, or if they are going to continue, if there's going to be more shows.
That's what I'm wondering too. Because again, we have no official word at all, and we can only piece together the Hollywood Bowl show based on what we've heard from both Paul and Evan. But yeah, nothing official.
Yeah, I'm curious to see once we get to Indy, that'd be really cool, honestly, to see that. We've mostly had what's his name? David Garibaldi, as the opener that we've seen multiple times, and it's really cool. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy it, but
good for charity and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's cool. But it'd be really neat at my last show and one of your last shows to get something different.
Yeah.
Whether it is Amber Wild or a different band, I kind of hope we get something different.
Yeah, me too. Those two singles are going to be coming out on the 19th of October. Cool. One is called Breakout, and the other is called Silver.
Okay.
So two very nice, simplistic one-word titles. I like that.
Interesting.
I'm interested to hear what they sound like because I've been keeping up on their Instagram, watching live clips, and I'm liking them more and more.
It's pretty good.
I know that's not full songs, but if you guys want a little bit of taste ahead of time, go to Amber Wild's Instagram page, check out some of their videos and their reels, and just get a feel and a flavor for what they're bringing. Evan is an amazing guitar player. He must be the lead player, and if he's not, he's acting like it the way he's shredding and tearing it up. He's not stationary. He's moving all over the stage. And the drummer, I just followed him on Instagram. The drummer is absolutely insane. That one episode we talked about, Paul Stanley recording them, he zoomed in on the drummer.
Yeah.
And we're kind of thinking, well, was it because he expected something or did he know? He knew.
Yeah.
He knew. Paul knew because he was doing some of the very similar things. So this guy knows what he's doing.
That's awesome.
And is really good. And the band's awesome. So I can't wait to hear their material. The album cover is also out. So yeah, again, follow them on Instagram if you're interested. Yeah. I would love to see what they bring to the table. And hopefully they have a full LP or a full EP soon because 2 singles is good.
Yeah. But
we need more.
Yeah, well, and they still have a little bit of time. They have a little less than a month at this point. So I mean, that'd be pretty quick after 2 singles to put out an album.
I doubt that. Yeah.
But I imagine probably pretty shortly after those shows, maybe later in November, early December, that there would be a full album.
Yeah.
I hope so.
They did,
or at least an EP.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
I want to. Yeah. An LP is kind of a lot to ask for right now, so I would take an EP for sure.
Yeah.
And I failed to mention this, that they are teasing another single. Mm-hmm. They on Instagram, I think Evan said, we're planning on releasing 2 singles. Should this one be the third? I'm not sure what it was, but they posted a video for it. So there may be a third on the horizon.
Cool.
So that to me sounds like they are in the studio. They are working towards an LP or an EP. They just need to get it out as soon as possible. So that we can have something to buy at the merch stands. I mean, if they're going to be playing with KISS, you better be having a merch stand.
Yeah.
You better be selling music. You better be selling t-shirts, hats, whatever it is, posters, wristbands. I don't know. But hopefully we'll see more from Amber Wild. And I'm interested to hear what these singles sound like. Just a fun fact, too, because we're talking about Evan Stanley and Wolf Mother. So Nick Simmons also played with Wolf Mother.
Really?
Except he was on stage with them as opposed to just opening for them.
Recently?
Could be the same night.
What?
I did not get a confirmation on whether it was the exact same night as Evan's opening band was there, but around the same time, in the same week, possibly the same night, Nick Simmons was on stage with Wolf Mother.
That's really cool.
And sang Rock and Roll by Led Zeppelin.
Okay.
And
nice.
I got to show you that because Nick's voice has gotten so incredible over the years. He already had an amazing voice, but it was more of like a low, raspy, almost like a jazz kind of voice that he would just kind of make into a rock, gravelly voice. He has really grown as a vocalist.
Wow.
And I cannot wait to show you.
Yeah, definitely show me that. That's interesting.
So he was on stage with Wolf Mother playing Led Zeppelin on the same night, possibly, as Amber Wild. So that to me was just wild.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
it was just
really cool.
rock and roll, man.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great stuff.
Next generation.
The next generation, is here. So that's pretty much it I have for this episode. I don't have anything to open on this show, but I will next week.
Ooh.
So stay tuned. I got something coming next week.
Do I know about this?
You do.
Okay.
You
I've
do.
forgotten, so
she's forgotten. It'll be a surprise. Yeah, exactly. No, but I do have something to open next week.
Nice.
It'll be totally awesome. So please, guys, definitely show up next week. And then thank you so much for watching this episode. And I want to know what you guys think about KISS, because I know that some fans really do want KISS to just be done, quit. Other fans are like, I could stand to go a couple more shows.
Yeah.
But realistically speaking, what do you think? And then what would you want to see? We're thinking touring's done. Maybe some unmasked mini touring acoustically. We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know. But anyway, that's all we have for you guys this week on episode 68 of the Kiss Army Things podcast. Please subscribe to YouTube, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Instagram. This is the 10th anniversary of Kiss Army Things this month, so we're kind of in a celebration mode. Yes. It's kind of fun. We have a lot more videos for you coming up this month. Possibly one before the next episode. I don't know. We'll see. Depends on how fast I can edit and how fast I can get stuff done. So either way, thank you guys so much. The only thing I can think of to mention will be on October 13th, Brant is going to be live premiering the Kiss Meets the Phantom watch through that we did.
That was so much fun.
That was so much fun. Daphne actually joined me on that too.
Yeah.
So I mentioned in the last episode how Brant had invited me to do a Kiss Meets the Phantom watch through, commentary watch through along with AJ. His friend AJ, and it was awesome. Yeah. AJ from I'm trying to get his channel. I think it's AJ's Happy Fun Time channel.
Yeah.
That was so fun. We had a couple special guests. I'm not going to spoil who the guests were. That was fantastic. One guest was Daphne. I'll spoil that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that was such a fun time. And so that'll be premiering on Brant's In My Head channel October 13th. I'm not sure what time yet, but you can definitely follow us and him on Instagram to get that. During that live premiere, we will be in the comments chatting. So if you guys want to, join us there. And of course, if you haven't seen Kiss Meets the Phantom ever or in a while, now's your chance.
Yep.
And yes, I think we'll just wrap it up there. And we'll see you guys next time, episode 69. For now, this is episode 68. And my name is Xander.
My name is Daphne.
Rock on and peace out.